So, what are your overall short or long-term and long-term goals?
Um, Short term and long term, I mean, I want to be working on things, you know, get as much experience in front of the camera. I'd like to be on a soap opera, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I mean, really, that's kind of a question that is, I'm open to things, you know. I want to work, I want to get experience, continue getting, the main thing is I want to get better at what I do, you know. That's always the goal I have in mind, because the better you are, the better work you'll get, and that kind of stuff. No. So I mean, I'm more focused on get as good as you possibly can be, which you can never get to. So you got to just keep kind of continuing with that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
what is your chosen method of acting?
I've had kind of more of a training based in Meisner, I guess you could say. Okay. I've studied also under R.J. Adams, who was a direct student of his, so it's more shifted towards Meisner is essentially my approach, living in the scene, being present in the moment.
Okay, for sure. What is a past experience / project that stood out to you?
A past project?
Yeah. So is there anything in particular that just stands out that you can easily just recall just right off the bat?
Yeah. This short film I actually directed, starred in, and wrote. I produced it all through Saddleback with my crew back in Film 1. And we were just learning at the time. It was just a total learning experience, but it was this really ambitious project for us because we've never done something of this scale. Did I say the title of it?
Oh no, you didn't.
It's called Sock World. Yeah.
What was the overall plot or the premise of the actual short film?
It's basically about this father and this daughter that gets sucked into this washing machine. Because the concept is, where do all the missing socks go? You get socks from a dryer and they're always missing. Yeah. Where do they go? They go to Sock World. And Sock World is this jungle-y kind of place, and it's got these two tribes that are they're at war with each other. And so there's the civil war that's going on, and the dad's been put into one side, and same with the daughter, not by choice, and so they're kind of separated that way. And that's the whole thing with the story. Okay, yeah. Okay. But that was the project that really stood out, just because it was.
I mean, it sounds like an interesting script.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table, and why do you think you're a good fit
for the agency versus company?
For the agency.
So I guess, how do you stand out? What do you think? What do you think you would say are your really pretty much your strengths? What are your sets you apart from everybody else that you personally feel you deserve a job?
Such a loaded question. I know. It's a tough one. I mean, it's hard to get specific. I don't want to feel like I'm gloating.
Oh yeah, no. Sure.
But I mean, most simply put, I would say there's 7 billion people on Earth, and the great thing about acting is that there's only one of you, so you can do yourself really, really, really well if you know yourself. And I feel I know myself pretty well, so whatever the situation is, essentially, I can react to it due to.
All right. And then lastly, what would you say is your biggest flaw, and how do you deal with it, or how do you think you can deal with it in the future?
My biggest flaw, I guess I would say, is having an uncomfortableness in social situations, but it's something you just got to do.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, I guess struggling with something like social anxiety would be my biggest fault as far as getting a career with acting, but I mean, it's something you gotta. It's a people business, so you gotta be good with people.
Is there anything you're trying to do to maybe work around that to make it not as difficult to deal with it? Are there anything specifically that you're trying to do to negate that
talk and meet as many people in one day as possible?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cool.
What are your short-term and long-term goals?
My short-term goal is I want to be a reoccurring character on a TV show.
Okay.
Just because I feel like that's a good way to get started in the industry.
Mhm.
And also, it's like watching shows myself. It's like I kind of want to do just like a long-term character instead of a movie character because I realized watching TV shows, like you get to kind of go through a transformation with the character.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I don't know, one good example was Chandler from Friends. Like he starts out as this like nerdy, quirky guy, but at the end of the show, like he's all matured. Even though he's still got like, you know, that playful aspect, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like you kind of went through a journey with him.
So you want to be, if they remake Friends, you want to be Chandler.
Yes.
Okay. What
I
is
don't know
your?
if I can do it though. Big shoes to fill.
Okay. What is your chosen method of acting?
I do method, but like slightly modified. Because I know a lot of method actors, like once they get a role, they're just in that role. Like once they go home, they're like still in that role. Like I heard of, what is it, the character, the actor who's doing the Joker used to send like dead rats to his friends when he got home.
Which one?
Ledger.
Joaquin Phoenix or?
No, I think the
Ledger?
new one, the one that did the Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Jared Leto, yeah. Like he's like so into like the method acting, like, you know, he takes the character home with him.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like when I step into like the set, like I'm that character.
Uh-huh.
But once like, you know, the lights are set, like when I go home, I can't carry that with me.
Yeah.
Like I gotta just kind of leave it behind.
Okay. All right. What is a past experience or project that stood out to you?
Well, in high school, I was trying to apply to USC Film School, and I noticed in the application you have to do a short film.
Mhm.
So I pretty much made an entire like 7-minute short film with 2 of my friends, and like at the end, it kind of turned out a little more than like decent. Like my teacher suggested I submit it to the Orange County Film Festival.
Yeah.
And long story short, I got nominated for Best Short Film, and 2 of my actors got nominated for Best Actor and Best Actress. And I just thought of like, wow.
What was the name of the short film?
Bromeo.
Bromeo.
It's like a total bromance.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
it's just, yeah, it's very comedic.
Okay. All right.
And that's like the kind of direction I see myself kind of going.
More comedy.
More comedy.
Okay. All right. What do you bring to the table, and what do you think? Why do you think you're a good fit for the agency?
I think I'm good. I'm gonna start with the second question. I think I'm a
Yeah.
good fit for the agency for 2 reasons. One, I'm really dedicated to my craft. I'm majoring in film and media, and I plan on getting at least my master's and maybe even a PhD. But that's just like way in the future. And the second part where I think I might be an asset to the company is that beside filmmaking, I wrestle, like Olympic style wrestling.
Mhm.
And long story short, like right now I'm in the process of making Team USA. Like let's say theoretically in a couple of years I might have more name recognition. So I think that could be an asset.
Okay.
But not that that would in any way increase my talents, but I just feel like, you know, it's like when people say Leonardo DiCaprio, like the movie just sells because everyone's like, oh my god, it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, name recognition's good.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the first question, part of the question.
Oh, just what do you bring to the table?
Oh,
you can
yeah.
mention that. What's your biggest flaw, and how do you kind of deal with it?
My biggest flaw. Kind of want to say it's somewhat my attitude. Like, I just happen to be named Muhammad Ali, so it's like when I was like around 17, 18, I kind of started learning who like the big Muhammad Ali was, like the famous boxer. I'm like, wow, he was so world famous and beyond boxing, and like everyone was like, pretty much it was his attitude and his charisma and everything, and like I try to kind of like be like him. Like I kind of tell myself when I do stuff, like, oh, I'm not just the greatest camera operator, I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
Like the part where I think that's a flaw is that, like, you know, if I just come into it like a set saying I'm the greatest, it's just like I feel like that pisses a lot of people off, and like.
I mean, at least the name recognition isn't an issue then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Oh, and lastly, what is your favorite and least favorite voice to do?
I want to say like those high-pitched, bubbly, maybe like SpongeBob-y voices.
Okay.
Like, not that I hate them, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love
yeah.
SpongeBob. That's like my favorite. I just don't think I have that range.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I have more of like a deeper villainy voice.
So those are like the voices you kind of prefer doing.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be like, more natural. Whereas like, something like SpongeBob, I feel like I would have to like train every day for it.
Yeah.
And might not do it as someone who can do it like more naturally.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So what are you most passionate about?
Was passionate about filmmaking and wrestling. I would say equal.
And for what reasons?
Filmmaking, it's just, I kind of see it as my career. And it's just, like when I was young, someone told me that quote, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. So that's the day I was like, you know what, then I guess this is where I'm going. Because I don't want to work a day in my life. That seems like the good life.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of been trying to like pursue film so I can, from like a non-hobby level, like on a professional level.
Yeah.
And then wrestling, it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's just kind of my culture.
Yeah.
I'm Persian. It's just kind of big over there.
Okay. Yeah. What experiences or events influenced you to feel strongly for like those, like for film and for wrestling? I mean, you said culture for
I was gonna-
wrestling.
Well, yeah, for film, the way I got really interested in it was that when I was in middle school, I was taking my first film class.
Yeah.
And the high school students from the high school nearby came to our class to do our presentation, and they told us about this film academy called Film Ed Academy of the Arts, and they just showed us the projects, and I was like, wow, these are like high school students, and these projects look like they could just be on TV, or like these guys are like probably like the feature filmmakers, and I'm like, they're not that different from me. Like, I mean, what's the difference between me and thee? I could do that. So that's when I was like, I realized, like, even though it's like my dream, and like it's probably one of those things that people have to like shoot for. But I thought like, hey, if I follow their path, go to that film school, which I did for 2 years, I might be able to be successful. And
Okay. Let's see. Did you have to overcome any obstacles when you were trying to like pursue like anything with filmmaking? Like, was there anything that kind of like was a little bit like difficult to handle, or?
for me, I want to say the only difficulties were like financial. It's just like film equipment is very expensive, and my family, we're like a low middle class family. It's just like, I can't be asking my mom like, hey, can I have $10,000 for that new Canon? It's like, no. She's like, basically it started out as a disability, but I want to say it forced me to like collaborate with other people. So it's kind of like,
It's like a silver lining.
yeah, silver lining. That's
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. What are you most proud of,
Most proud of.
and why?
I would say what I'm most proud of is the short film I made, Bromeo. Just
Mhm.
because, like, even when I still watch it to this day, it makes me laugh. And, like, I don't know, I feel like it's, like, a very niche humor. I feel like people who like South Park, Family Guy type of comedy will really like it.
Okay.
But I could also see, like, a lot of other people that don't like that type of comedy, that dark, satirical comedy, they might not like it. But, I don't care, like, I don't care how much money it makes, or, like, how successful people think it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's probably like what I'm most proud of.
Okay. All right.
I think that's good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.